Imagine waking up on a random Tuesday morning, not a special day, not a holiday. You reach for your phone, and instead of checking work emails or your calendar, you open your investment account. And there it is. Your portfolio grew by $79,000 last year. Your salary? $74,000. Your money made more money than you did. This changes everything. Not because you're suddenly rich, not because you can retire tomorrow, but because you've quietly crossed a line that most people never even realize exists. And once you cross it, your entire relationship with money, work, and time shifts forever. Hey, welcome back to Alexander Finance. I'm Alexander, and this channel exists to give you real, practical financial education without the noise or the hype. If you're new here, genuinely glad you found this. Quick note before we dive in, this video is for educational purposes only and isn't personal financial advice. Always do your own research before making investment decisions. Now, let's get into this. Most of us were handed the exact same financial playbook. Work hard, get promoted, earn more. Work harder, get a bigger raise, earn even more. And on the surface, that sounds completely reasonable. That's the system. That's how it's supposed to work. But here's what most people never realize. This model has a ceiling. Your income is always tied to your time, and your time is finite. You have roughly 8 to 10 productive working hours a day. That's the ceiling. That's it. Which means no matter how talented you are, no matter how many promotions you earn, your income will always be limited by the number of hours you can physically trade for money. Think about someone who's been a software engineer for 15 years, started at $65,000, now earning $130,000. That's impressive. That's real progress. But every single dollar of that income required them to show up, to be present, to produce, to perform. The moment they stop, the income stops. And here's the quiet truth nobody says out loud at the office. Most people spend 3, 4, even 5 decades believing the only way to build wealth is to keep climbing that ladder, keep grinding, keep showing up. Nobody teaches them that there's an entirely different game being played, quietly, invisibly, with their money. Think about your paycheck for a second. Every 2 weeks, you perform, you produce, and in return, money hits your bank account. A clean exchange, your effort for their dollars. Now imagine a version of you that worked 365 days a year, never called in sick, never burned out, never asked for a raise, never needed health insurance, and quietly deposited money into your account every single night while you slept. That's what an invested dollar does. When you put $500 into a broad index fund, something tracking the S&P 500 or the total US market, that money doesn't clock out at 5. It doesn't get tired on Fridays. It participates in the growth of hundreds of the world's most productive companies, and it compounds. Here's what that actually looks like. You invest $600 a month starting at 25 in a diversified, low-cost index fund historically averaging around 7% annually after inflation, a figure grounded in the long-term historical return of the U.S. stock market. By 45, you're looking at roughly $295,000. By 55, you're approaching $650,000. By 65, over $1.4 million. But here's the part that genuinely breaks people's brains. The largest portion of that number didn't come from your contributions. It came from the growth on previous growth. Your money made money that made more money that made more money still. That is the fundamental difference between working for money and letting money work for you. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, and most people miss this entirely. There are actually 2 tipping points on this journey, and they feel completely different. The first one happens earlier than most people expect. It's the moment your annual investment growth becomes larger than the new money you're adding to it. Let me make that real. Say you're contributing $12,000 a year to your contributions to your 401k and Roth IRA combined. You've been investing consistently for a decade. Your portfolio has grown to $250,000. A 7% return on $250,000 is $17,500 in growth. Your contributions that year? $12,000. Your money just outworked your deposits. That's the first tipping point, and it's massive, because from that moment forward, time becomes your most powerful financial asset, not income, time. But here's what most people never hear about. The second tipping point is something else entirely. It's the day your annual investment income, growth, dividends, distributions, becomes larger than your annual salary. That is the milestone we've been talking about all along. And when that day comes, something shifts in you that's almost impossible to describe until you've actually felt it. People picture this moment and they imagine some dramatic Hollywood scene, a sports car, a resignation letter, a beach somewhere. The reality is far quieter and honestly, far more powerful. The first thing that changes isn't your bank account, it's your nervous system. That low-level financial anxiety that most of us carry every single day, the kind that quietly lives in the back of your mind during a performance review, or the night before you ask for a raise, or when you hear whispers about restructuring at work, it starts to fade. Because here's the real source of workplace fear: dependence. When your entire lifestyle depends on your next paycheck, your employer holds enormous power over you. And most people don't even realize how much that power shapes their behavior. They tolerate things they shouldn't tolerate. They stay quiet when they should speak up. They accept conditions that quietly drain them. But the moment your investment portfolio is generating income that could cover your essential expenses, or even a meaningful portion of them, that power dynamic changes. You walk into negotiations differently. You make career decisions from a place of genuine choice instead of quiet desperation. You start showing up because you want to, not because you're afraid of what happens if you don't. One of the most honest descriptions I've come across of financial independence is this: it doesn't necessarily mean you quit your job. It means your job can no longer own you. And that changes everything. How you lead, how you work, how you treat people, how you show up for your family. The confidence isn't arrogance, it's just groundedness, a steadiness that wasn't there before. Here's the part nobody talks about. Most people who reach this milestone don't dramatically reinvent their lives. They don't post about it, they don't suddenly move to Bali, they don't necessarily quit the next day. What they actually become is calmer, noticeably, measurably calmer. Because financial stress is one of the heaviest invisible loads a person carries, and most of us have been carrying it so long we've stopped recognizing it as weight. When it lifts, even partially, people describe sleeping more deeply, thinking more clearly, being genuinely more present with the people they love, making better decisions, taking creative risks they never allowed themselves before. And here's something else that surprises people. Once you've crossed this milestone, market downturns stop being emergencies. When portfolios drop 20, 25, 30% in a bad year, someone without that financial foundation panics. They sell. They lock in losses. They step off the single most powerful wealth-building escalator that's ever existed. But someone who has built that foundation, they see a downturn differently. They see discounted shares. They see time doing exactly what time does. They keep investing, they stay the course, and they come out the other side in a stronger position than before they started. That's not just a financial advantage, that's a psychological one, and it compounds just like everything else. Now, I want to be completely honest with you about something, because there's one mistake that quietly derails more people on this journey than almost anything else. Not bad investments, not market crashes, not even bad advice. It's lifestyle inflation. Here's how it works. You get a $15,000 raise, you deserve it. But almost immediately, sometimes without even making a conscious decision, your lifestyle expands to absorb it. A nicer apartment, a lease on a better car, eating out more, streaming subscriptions, small upgrades everywhere. Your life feels better, nothing feels excessive, but your wealth-building machine just slowed down significantly. Here's a real comparison that might sting a little. Person A earns $85,000 and invests $1,500 a month consistently for 20 years. In a diversified index portfolio, they're looking at approximately $750,000. Person B gets promoted to $105,000, a real, meaningful raise. but increases their monthly spending by $1,600 instead of investing the difference. 20 years later, person B has less wealth than if the raise had never happened at all. That is lifestyle inflation doing exactly what it always does. The people who reach financial independence fastest aren't always the highest earners. They're the ones who consistently live below their means and direct the difference towards assets that grow. So what does the actual path look like? A few principles, not rules, principles that show up consistently in the stories of people who actually reach this milestone. First, maximize tax-advantaged accounts before anything else. Your 401k, especially if your employer offers a match, that's an immediate return on your money you can't replicate anywhere else. Your Roth IRA if you're eligible. These accounts let your money compound without taxes constantly interrupting the process. Over decades, that difference is enormous. Second, broad, simple diversification. The goal isn't to pick the next winning stock. The goal is to own a small piece of the entire economy through low-cost index funds and ETFs. Total market funds, S&P 500 index funds. Simple, boring, historically effective. Third, when income increases, raise, bonus, side hustle, direct a meaningful percentage straight into investments before lifestyle has a chance to absorb it. Automate it if you can. Make it invisible. Fourth, stay invested through market downturns. This is significantly harder than it sounds when you're watching your account drop in real time. But the data on this is unambiguous. Staying invested and continuing to buy during downturns has historically been the right decision, not the exception. And finally, fifth, think in decades, not quarters, not years. The tipping point we've been discussing all video doesn't happen in 12 months. It doesn't happen in 2 years. But for someone who starts in their mid to late 20s, invests consistently, avoids the lifestyle inflation trap, and stays disciplined through volatility, this is not a fantasy. It's math. Let me bring this all the way back to where we started. That Tuesday morning, your phone in your hand, the number in your investment account that finally crossed your salary. That moment isn't the finish line. It's the beginning of a different story entirely. Because the goal was never really to escape work. The goal was to build a life where work becomes a choice. The day your investments make more than your job is the day fear begins to lose its power. You negotiate differently. You parent differently. You rest differently. You make decisions from a place of genuine strength, not survival, not fear, not desperation. And you quietly realize something profound. The most powerful financial move you ever made wasn't some clever trade, some perfectly timed call, some breakthrough stock tip. It was showing up, month after month, year after year. When the market was surging and it felt exciting. When it was crashing and it felt terrifying. When life was busy and investing felt inconvenient. Your future isn't built by one big investment. It's built by thousands of quiet decisions nobody applauds. Until one day, your money starts speaking louder than your paycheck. Before you go, I want to ask you something real. What milestone are you currently working toward? Is it your first $10,000 invested? Your first $100,000? The day your portfolio could cover your rent? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I love seeing where people are on this journey. And if this kind of honest, practical financial education is what you've been looking for, no hype, no shortcuts, just clear thinking about building real long-term wealth, then subscribe to Alexander Finance. Every video here is built to make you smarter and calmer about money. I'll see you in the next one. It's built by thousands of quiet decisions nobody applauds. Until one day, your money starts speaking louder than your paycheck.